Good evening, everybody. I am Dominic Kasulki here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium as the River Bandits are facing off against the Edenton Steamers for the second consecutive night. Last night, the River Bandits defeated the Steamers 14-1 in a massive statement win. We have Ryan Nielsen on the mound tonight for the River Bandits. His first pitch goes outside for ball one. His 1-0 pitch is low for ball two. Facing off against Luke Myers, the leadoff batter for the Steamers. The 2-0 pitch from Nielsen, and that hits the outside corner for strike one. Nielsen been a very reliable pitcher for the River Bandits. The third most pitches, or innings pitched on the team. His 2-1 is low, 3-1. Has 20 in the third innings pitched, 7 games played, 3 of them starts. This will be his 4th start of the season. He's 2-2. His 3-1 pitch, and that is low for ball 4. Even the batter, Luke Myers, didn't even think that was low. But Luke Myers gets a leadoff walk to start the game against Ryan Nielsen. Brings up Giomar Santana. Giomar Santana, the second batter for the Steamers. He's leading in average and on-base percentage. His average .333 and on-base percentage .500. He looks at ball one. Nielsen on the season has 14 hits against, 5 earned runs, 10 walks, and 25 strikeouts. His 1-0 pitch, and that's in there for strike one. It's a hot, humid night for some baseball. It's beach night here in Tarboro. Here's Nielsen's 1-1 pitch with the man on first, and that just misses outside. Nielsen on the season at 2.21 ERA. Been extremely reliable. It's 2-1 pitch. That's grounded out. Foul down the third base side. 2-2. Nielsen's last game, or last appearance, was July 18th against the Wake Forest Fungo, where the River Bandits won. He pitched 1 inning, faced 4 batters, 1 hit against him and 1 walk, but he got out of the inning, stranded a man on the third base. Now a full count here against Giomar Santana, the second hitter. Doesn't want to let 2 on to start the game. Already had a leadoff walk. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is just high. 2 consecutive walks to start the game for Nielsen, which he has been accustomed to getting out of jams. He's been very good at doing it. He's going to try to do it again here in the first inning against the Steamers. Ty Garza, the beer batter for the Steamers. It's the beer batter. If he gets out, River Bandits fans can buy beer for 10% off. He lines it over to left field. Armani Newton gets to it very quickly, but that's going to load the bases with no outs. Line way too hard over to Armani Newton to bring a batter home, but now bases loaded with no outs. Nielsen gotten out of 3 or 4 bases loaded jams this season. This one with no outs. Big spot for him. He's hoping for strikeout or a double play. Keep the damage low. He gets strike one called on Davis Halstead, their cleanup hitter. Davis Halstead in college had a .279 batting average, .421 on base percentage. The 0-1 pitch to him is big swing and a miss. Halstead had 3 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, and 15 RBIs in college. He's down on the count 0-2 to Ryan Nielsen with the bases loaded. His 0-2 pitch hit over second baseman Brandon Phillips. That's going to bring at least 1 home, and Snyder can't cut it off. Center fielder Ethan Barnes going to throw it in. That's going to bring 2 home with a 2 RBI double from Davis Halstead to start the game. River Bandits on a 6-game winning streak, and the Steamers on a 2-game losing streak, one of them to the River Bandits. Quick start here for the Steamers against our starting pitcher, Ryan Nielsen. He gets strike one called in the outer half, facing off against their catcher, Tyler Overitis. Pitch home, big swing and a miss for strike two. He was down in the count, or Halstead was down in the count 0-2 before he hit that 2 RBI double. I think it could have been held to a single, but Snyder took a weird angle on it and wasn't able to cut it off. Pitch home, that's hit into center field. Ethan Barnes gets under that. He's going to throw it home. The play at the plate is going to dribble in, not in time. Brings home another run with a sac fly from Tyler Overitis. Ethan Barnes does get under that for out number one. Now a man on second base with Chris Morris up, their designated hitter. 2 hits for the Steamers, 3 runs already. Pitch home, it's fouled, out of play down the first base side. Rochi said he's been excited for this game in the chat. All of us have been very excited, and even with a 3-0 ball game, River Bandits bats have been so hot recently that this game is not out of hand at all. That pitch dribbles into the catcher, Phillips Daniels. Going to keep that man over there at second. River Bandits over the past 6 games after the All-Star break been averaging over 13 runs a game and 6-0 in that stretch, trying to keep that 6-game win streak alive. Nielsen's 1-1 pitch. That is upstairs for ball 2. Nielsen's most earned runs in a game is 3 on June 19th against the Outer Banks Scallywags. He went 3 1/3 that game. He already has 3 here in this game. Hoping to settle down. He got a sac fly out. And he did not go there. Makes it 3-1. Nielsen went 5 innings, 2 consecutive outings, once against the Steamers and once against the Scallywags. His 3-1 pitch, and that is low for ball 4. Another walk for Nielsen. Puts a man on first, already a man on second. Chris Morris just took the walk. Brings up their left fielder, Nate Paulson. Nate Paulson in college batted .233 with a .317 on base percentage, 8 doubles and 10 home runs. First pitch gets in there for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, and that's in there for strike 2. 2 consecutive strikes. Nielsen up in the count, 0-2 here. Man on first, second. Runner's going to go. That hits the dirt, and that's going to be no throw. Pitch hit the dirt, so easy stolen bases here. Wasn't going to be a double steal, but the runner at first, Chris Morris, saw it hit the dirt. Decided, why don't I go too? A 2-man in scoring position, 1-2 count to Nate Paulson. This is a big out. Can't have 2 more runs score, and he gets a swing, foul tipped. Phillips Daniels can't hold on to it. So it stays 1-2. Chris Morris over there at second. He leads the Steamers in home runs with 4. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. Nate Paulson goes down hacking. Brings up Gabe Kirk. defensive alignments here for the River Bandits. Ryan Nielsen on the bump tonight. Phillips Daniels catching behind the plate. At first, Keith Gardner. Here's a pitch home. That is hit down the left field line. That's going to drop fair, and that's going to bring 2 home. It's going to be 2 RBI double for Gabe Kirk. Make it 5-0 Steamers.
The second baseman, number 1, Ben Bausis.
Brings up Ben Bausis, their second baseman. He's the 9th hitter. They have 10 hitters with the extra hitter rule. So almost between their whole lineup. Almost went through it all. Ben Bausis also a pitcher for the Steamers. He's pitched 36 innings for the Steamers, second most on the squad behind Chandler Padgett. Bausis has a 2 ERA on the season, so he's been great pitching. Hitting-wise, Bausis has not had a hit in his 9 games played. Looking for his first hit here with Gabe Kirk at second. He looks at ball 1. Want to know to him, and he looks at a ball low. So Gabe Kirk interrupted the defensive alignments. At first, Keith Gardner. At second, Brandon Phillips. At short tonight, Johnny Wall. Third base, Preston Shelton. At left field, Armani Newton. Center field, Ethan Barnes. And right field, Eston Snyder. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that is outside, 3-0. Nielsen has a man on second. 3-0 count, already a 5-0 game for the Steamers. Pitch home, and that's in there, strike 1. Nielsen already throwing 32 pitches, 3 hits, 5 earned, and that is in there, strike 2. That's a big strike call for him on the outside half. Does have 3 walks. He doesn't tend to walk many batters. So that is the big difference in his outing so far. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's in there, strike 3. He freezes Ben Bausis to strand Gabe Kirk at second, but the Steamers put up 5 in the first inning. River Bandits have 13 runs averaged in their past 6 games at the All-Star break, so plenty of game left, hoping for the River Bandits bats to get hot. You're watching the River Bandits on YouTube Live. Armani Newton leading off for the River Bandits here in the bottom half of the first, leading off for the game. The Steamers up 5-0 after their top half. On the mound for the Steamers tonight, Hank Downham, a right-handed pitcher out of Pitt Community College. For the season, he's a .317 ERA in 7 games played, 17 innings pitched. Facing off against Armani Newton here, a 1-0 count against him. The pitch home, and that is upstairs, ball 2. River Bandits trying to get some back here in the first, just slightly inch away. I mean, they'd love a big inning. They've had plenty of those after the All-Star break. Would love one right here. They've been doing it a lot in the second inning. Love to start it off in the first as Newton looks at 3 pitches out of the zone. Nielsen threw 35 pitches for the River Bandits on the mound in the first. The 3-0 pitch is outside and up. 4-pitch walk to start the game for Armani Newton. Brings up Johnny Wall with Newton over there at first. Chance to get some damage done already. Newton speedy. I can see them sending him at some point. Johnny Wall looks at a ball upstairs. So far, Hank Downham has not thrown a strike yet. 5 pitches, 5 balls. Umpire in the first had a bit of a small zone for Nielsen. The same here for Downham. He looks down at the sign. His pitch home is in there for strike 1. Johnny Wall on the season, batting a .408 batting average. Throw back to first. Armani Newton gets back in there safely. Johnny Wall joined the team late. He has 13 games played, 58 plate appearances, .483 on base percentage, 20 hits, 14 of them singles and 6 of them doubles. Here's the pitch home. He hits that sky high to left center field. Center fielder Drifton Paget is under it for out number 1. Cruz Newman up at the plate, leading the River Bandits in home runs and batting average. .429 batting average with 4 home runs. He joined the team late. He looks at strike 1 in the outer half. He's a guy that can get you a long ball, get you back in this game. Righty-lefty matchup with Downham over to Newman. That's outside, ball 1. Still early in the game. Plenty of time for the River Bandits bats. Cruz Newman trying to get it going. Throw back over to first. Armani Newton slides back in safely. Hank Downham at Pitt Community had 38 innings pitched with a .553 ERA, 30 earned runs and 33 walks, 40 hits and 63 strikeouts. 1-1 over to Newman. Sails high, ball 2. So still in the first inning, struggling a little bit with his command. But Johnny Wall swung at a pitch and popped it over to center field. 2-1 over to Newman. Here's the 2-1. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. Went hacking for that one. Cruz Newman out of Walter State Community College with a .348 batting average, 13 home runs, 37 RBIs in his time there. He's in a 2-2 count. Newton's going to go. He's going to look at it, and the exchange could not be handled from Tyler Overitis. Cruz Newman look at ball 3. So a full count now. Monty Newton gets the steal. Good job from Newton. Went on the right pitch as it was outside a little bit and tough for the exchange for Tyler Overitis. Now a full count for Newman, the payoff pitch. And he foul tipped it. Overitis can't hang on to it, though. Won't do it again. Newton in scoring position here with one out. 5-0 ball game in the first. Newman and Newton. Payoff pitch, and that hits the dirt. Newman throws his bat towards our dugout. Jogs over to first for a full count walk. Brings up Eston Snyder here in our cleanup hitter role. 1-0 to him. So 2 walks already for Hank Downham and 1-0 already to Snyder. Snyder had a 12-game hitting streak. Broke that the last 2 games. Hasn't gotten the hit those last 2 games, but he has been hot. He looks at ball 2 just outside. Pitcher's been getting that call so far this game. That's the one consistent call so far. 18th and 19th, Snyder did not get a hit, but before that, he had a hit from June 20th all the way to the 14th pitch home. He looks at that one low, 3-0. Hank Downham struggling to find that strike zone. Snyder looking to work the walk and get the bases loaded for Colin Hughes. I doubt he swings here unless he gets the green light. Pitch home, and he looks at strike 1. Ball should be flying here tonight. A hot, humid day. Pitch home, he swings, pops that back behind the stadium. Snyder now in a full count with Hank Downham. Very early in the game, but a big spot here for Snyder, looking to get back into it. Already down 5-0, and a walk would really make a big difference here. Payoff pitch. He just gets a piece of it, throws his bat. So, still full count with Snyder. Snyder going to, might have just went and got a new bat. But going to fix it up just a little bit as he threw it out of his hands there. Full count. Cruz Newman at first, at second Armani Newton. Snyder looking to get to first. The payoff pitch. He hits that high into left center. Left fielder's going to get under it. Nate Paulson gets it for out number 2. Looked like he hit that hard enough to get to the wall. Brings up Colin Hughes. Colin Hughes, our extra hitter tonight. He hits that back into center field. Drifting Padgett not going to be able to make the play. That's going to bring one home, and Armani Newton. It's going to be an RBI single for Colin Hughes to put the River Bandits on the board. River Bandits looking to get a 2-run hit rally going. They got one from Colin Hughes and one pitch into center field. Got the RBI. Preston Shelton at the plate. Looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. Cruz Newman at second. Colin Hughes got the single, the RBI single. He's over there at first. Preston Shelton, our third baseman tonight. Most games played on the team with 25. With a .360 batting average. It's down on the count 0-1. Pitch home, and that's outside, 1-1. Ethan Barnes on deck. Barnes has been scorching hot. Preston Shelton trying to get on base, get him at the plate. 1-1 pitch. That is in there. Strike two. A nice breaking ball from Downham. Hasn't been ahead in the count very often here. 1-2 to Shelton. The pitch home and bounces in the dirt. Runners are going to go. And Tyler Overitis looked like he might have been in some kind of pain. Didn't want to make the throw. Might have hit his wrist just a little bit weirdly, holding his arm a little gingerly. 2-2 to Shelton with 2 runners in scoring position. Now Colin Hughes at second, Cruz Newman at third. No sac fly in play with 2 outs, but 2-2 to Shelton. The pitch home, pops that into shallow right. Could be no man's land, but the right fielder, Davis Halstead, gets to it in time for out number 3. River Bandits put on 1. Now a 5-1 ball game, but they strand 2 on second and third, and that's the end of the first inning. We'll see you here in the top of the second here, 5-1 ball game. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Drifton Paget leading off for the Steamers here in the second inning. He's their 10th hitter. He's their center fielder. Almost went through the complete batting order in the first inning. Ryan Nielsen looking for a more sustainable second inning, keep him in the game longer. Drifton Paget looks at ball 1.
Great job.
Paget in the 1-0 count. That breaking ball sails high. Nielsen has a fastball, curveball, changeup, pitch mix. Loads the highest fastball he has. Maxes out over at 90. The 2-0 pitch fouled back very sharply into the backstop. 2-1. His curveball comes in around 69 to 71 and changeup 73 to 75. It's a nice pitch, Mitch. 2-1, and that hits the outside corner, strike 2. 2-2 to the leadoff hitter, Drifton Paget. Pitch home, hit back towards center field, and that's going to be a base knock to lead off the inning for Drifton Paget. So another leadoff man gets on. That created havoc in the first inning. Nielsen looking for a ground ball double play here. He has a leadoff hitter of the game, Luke Meyer, their shortstop. Number 3. Righty-righty matchup with the man on first. That's upstairs, ball 1. Nielsen in the first inning pitched 32 pitches. Not usual for him to have that many. Ground ball over to Brandon Phillips. Play over at second. Great play to throw to first. There's going to be no throw. A wonderful turn from Brandon Phillips to get the force out at second. Nice fielder's choice from Brandon Phillips.
The DH, number 5, Giamar Santana.
And then a smart play from Johnny Wall to not throw it over to first, as there was no play for the double play. I didn't want the chance of throwing it away. Brings up Giamar Santana as he looks at a ball in the dirt. 4-1. One and 0 to Santana. Luke Myers at first. Pitch home, and that is upstairs, ball 2. Nielsen down on the count 2-0 here. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Santana. Nielsen on the game has 45 pitches, 24 of them strikes. Struggling to find the strike zone as much this game as most games. He's pounding that strike zone. He's down in the count 3-1 here. That looked like it might have hit the outside corner. Doesn't get the call. 3-1. Has 3 walks on the game. Could be a 4th here. Pitch home. Breaking ball sails high. So a walk for Giamar Santana puts Luke Myers at second, Giamar Santana at first, and Ty Garza, their third baseman, up to bat.
Third baseman, number 7, the beer batter, Ty Garza.
Ty Garza had a hit and a run his first time up. Garza with the Steamers with a .290 batting average. Looks at ball 1. Garza has 4 doubles and a home run with 18 RBIs. Nielsen looks at second. Pitch home. Big swing and a miss from Garza. Crowd is quiet here on beach night. Down 5-1. Plenty of game. River Bandits usually get their runs going in the second. How they get their game started. Nielsen trying to get out of this inning, keep it 5-1. He has 1 out, men on first and second. And that is in the dirt, ball 2. On deck, Davis Halstead, who has a hit, RBI, and a run. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. He got 2 of those now. 2-2, big strikeout. Would be massive for him. Big strikeout opportunity, what I'm trying to say. Also a ground ball would be great. Runners are going to go. Gets a big swing and a miss, throw over to third, and it bounces up. He's going to go home. Shelton's running after it. That's going to bring another run home and a runner into third after the strikeout. Very unfortunate. Shelton can't pick it off.
10% off all alcohol till end of the second inning.
So he gets the strikeout, but a run gets home. Now a man on third, and Halstead has another RBI opportunity. 6-1 ball game. They gained that run back that the River Bandits took away in the first. Davis Halstead with a hit and RBI already looks at strike 1. Got some Steamers fans in here. I'm glad you're able to watch the stream, Justin. That is grounded out, foul down the third base line. Nielsen in an 0-2 count here, trying to get the strikeout to Davis Halstead, their cleanup hitter. The 0-2 pitch to Halstead. Popped up. Ryan Nielsen calls it off. Gets under it for out number 3. They strand one at third, but they score another after a throw that can't be picked off at third from Preston Shelton. Gets into no man's land and brings another run home. But that'll be the end of the top half of the second. River Bandits bats tend to get hot in the second. They're going to try to do that here with Ethan Barnes leading off. Ethan Barnes leading off the second inning for the River Bandits. He has been scorching hot, and he rips one down the third base line. A great play from Ty Garza. Throw over to first in time for out number 1. Ethan Barnes hit that very sharply over to Ty Garza, but he makes the play. Phillips Daniels now at the plate. A .306 batting average, .422 on base percentage. He's our catcher. Looks at ball 1. Splits time with Colin Hughes himself and Josh Wilson behind the plate. Pitch home is outside ball 1. Excuse me, ball 2. Had someone coming in. Lost my train of thought. 2-0 to Daniels. To a pitch inside. 3-0. Daniels a couple games ago here in Tarboro had a couple big bases loaded hits, and he gets a 4-pitch walk.
The first baseman, number 35,
Keith Gardner now at the plate. Phillips Daniels at first. Keith Gardner looks at ball 1 just outside. Keith Gardner hit a home run last night against the Steamers, looking to repeat himself in Tarboro against the Steamers once again. He also hit the night before a 2 RBI double. So he's been getting his bat hot. He tries to go for the fences again. Whiffs on that one, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Throw over to first. The tag is not in time as Daniels slides in safely. Hank Downham continues on the mound. It's been sharp so far. Keith Gardner hits that into right field. Right fielder looks at it, hits off the wall. Daniels stopped. Didn't round, but he's going to be at third. Keith Gardner thought that was out of there. Keith Gardner hit that very high into right field as Davis Halstead couldn't get to it off the wall. Phillips Daniels didn't know where that was at. So he was in the middle of first and second, only got to third off of that. But now runners on the corners. Brandon Phillips up. He's at second base tonight. 1-0 count to him. Now J.V. Bell and Brandon Phillips splitting that second base time as Mitch Jones is not on the team any longer. 1-0 pitch, fouls that off. So Brandon Phillips had an injury to his shoulder earlier in the season, sliding home. Johnny Wall came in at shortstop. He's played amazing defense at shortstop, and that's where Brandon Phillips was at. He kind of lost his spot there at shortstop, still getting his bat in, but defense wasn't playing as much. He slaps that foul. So now with second base being a little more thin, had Espinal, had Mitch Jones, J.B. Bell, and Phillips. Down to Bell and Phillips, splitting time over there at second. Johnny Wall has that shortstop position pretty secure. 1-2 to Phillips with men on the corners. Pitch home. He hits that into right field, and that's going to be a sac fly. The throw home cut off by Gabe Kirk. Sac fly from Brandon Phillips. Nice hit for him. Good piece of hitting. Goes back to the top of the batting order for the River Bandits. Armani Newton now with Keith Gardner at first and 2 outs. 6-2 ball game here in Tarboro. Armani Newton looks at a ball in the dirt. Keith Gardner stays over there at first. 1-0 now to Newton. He's going to try to start a 2-out rally. Some good hitting here to start. Not massive power other than the Keith Gardner hit, but situational hitting, and River Bandits put up 2. Unfortunately, the Steamers have 6 this game. They only had 1 last night. Big difference here to start the game. Going to have to inch their way back. They've done it before. Here's the 2-0 count to Newton. 3-0 now to Newton. Newton, his first time up, also got a walk. He's the 1 run before Phillips Daniels ran in. And, ooh, that looked outside, but he gets the strike call. 3-1. Newton looking for his second walk of the game. Would also look for his second run once he gets on the bases. Has Johnny Wall on deck. The 3-1 pitch is in there. Strike 2. Newton thought that was low. Shakes his head. Trying to calm himself down after he did not like the last 2 calls. Now a full count. The payoff pitch. Runner's going to go. He fouls it off. Keith Gardner's going to go back over to first. We'll do the payoff pitch once again. Now full count once again. Armani Newton. Payoff pitch. That's in the dirt. Keith Gardner's going to get to second. Armani Newton over there at first, and Johnny Wall with 2 men on. Chance to inch away at this game. Johnny Wall, nothing going on for him so far. He flied out to center field, and he looks at strike 1. Johnny Wall looking to get Keith Gardner over there at second home. Pitch is appeal to first, and he did not go. It's a late appeal. I didn't know what to call it. I couldn't tell if he went around or not. 1-1 to Wall. Overitis thought he went. Was not happy with the first base umpire's call. The 1-1 grounds that out. Could be a tough play. A chopper over third and the force out at second to get Armani Newton out. That'll be the end of the second inning. River Bandits put another run up. Now a 6-2 ball game against the Steamers. Still a 4-run game. Plenty of time here as Ryan Nielsen coming out on the mound for the third inning. We'll see you here as you're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Tyler Overitis leading off the third inning for the Steamers. 6-2 ball game as Ryan Nielsen back out on the mound. The pitch home, that breaking ball sails high, ball one. The 1-0 count, and that is inside, 2-0. Nielsen, with 55 pitches already through 2 innings, has 4 hits, 5 earned against him, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. It's been amazing all season. The 2-0 pitch is flied out of play. Hits the top of the stadium for strike one. Two and one to Overitis. Pitch home. Did he held up? Nope, he did not. 2-2 now. Trying to get the leadoff man out for the first time this game. Only through 2 innings. An hour through this game. Been a longer game. Sometimes they speed up, sometimes they don't. We'll see. It's a beautiful night in Tarboro. Who cares if it's long baseball? Nielsen steps off the mound, doesn't like what he's seeing from Phillips Daniels behind the plate. The 2-2 pitch. And that is just outside. Full count here. Seen lots of those so far this game from both sides. Payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play. Overitis for the Steamers, hitting .222 with a .406 on-base percentage with 3 doubles, a home run, and 5 RBIs. Pitch home, payoff pitch, and that is low. Ball 4, a leadoff walk for Overitis.
The designated hitter, number 21, Chris Morris.
Brings up Chris Morris, their DH tonight. Was a 2-2 count, and Overitis worked it back full and then worked a walk, leadoff walk for him. As River Bandits were trying to get that first man out to start an inning. That's what's been causing havoc. Couldn't do it. Now facing Morris, 1-0 count as that breaking ball sailed high. The 1-0 pitch, and that is in there, that fastball for strike one. Nielsen's 1-1 with a man on first, above the letters for ball two. Nielsen committed to Charleston Southern University, was a medical redshirt, didn't play this past season. Pitched his first time here for the River Bandits. First time in a year, and he's been doing insanely well. Got the start tonight, his fourth start of the season. Really his worst outing of the season for sure, and definitely looked like might have been a strike three call. Must have been up. Now another full count in the third inning. He's really looking for a strikeout here or a ground ball. Don't want 2 men out already. There's a big swing and a miss. Chris Morris goes down hacking. Can't get the barrel to it for strike one. Or out number one, excuse me.
Left fielder number 10, Nate Paulson.
Brings up their left fielder, Nate Paulson. Nate Paulson for the Steamers, hitting 143 with a 373 on base percentage. He looks at strike one. Has Overitis over there at first with one out. Looking for a double play, would end the inning. Get those bats back up. He gets a ground ball, but foul. Paulson has played 18 games here for the Steamers with 49 at-bats. Has 7 hits on the season, 18 walks. Pitch home, that is hit into right center. Snyder's going to run that down, and he gets under it for out number 2. Keeps Overitis over there at first. And now 2 quick consecutive outs after the leadoff walk. It's a tough angle for Snyder to catch that. He ran back. Didn't want to take his eye off the ball and kind of caught it a little bit behind his back, but a great catch and a big out number 2. Brings up Gabe Kirk, a big frame lefty hitter against Ryan Nielsen. Breaking ball just goes outside, ball 1. Gabe Kirk hit a opposite field hit that brought home 2 RBI double down the left field line. Just a little blooper, and he tries to do it again, gets strike 1 as he can't get to it. Pitch home, and that is inside to Gabe Kirk, 2-1. Nielsen trying to get through the third at 72 pitches here. Could be the end of his night. We have some work in the bullpen. Might put him out for the fourth, depending on if he gets out of this. That's fouled back into the netting. Kind of made me jump a little bit. It was coming right at me if there wasn't any netting. Hopefully kept the camera angle nice. Moved it just a little bit. Now 2-2 to Kirk, trying to get out of this inning. Pitch home, he slaps it down the third base side into our dugout. Trying to strand Overitis at first. River Bandits Plenty of time to get back in this game. 4-run deficit, and a little chopper over to second. Phillips makes a play over to first. A low throw to Keith Gardner. He scoops it up for out number 3. River Bandits strand Tyler Overitis on the bags. That'll be the end of the top half of the third. River Bandits trying to get back into this game. We'll see it here as Cruz Newman is leading off for the River Bandits in the third inning. Cruz Newman leading off the third inning for the River Bandits, trying to get something going. This is a guy that can definitely do that. Hit a solo home run at a point in a game like this, trying to come back against the Clovers. They ended up losing that game 7-8. We'll see. 0-1 to Newman. Hank Downham still on the mound. He slaps that into left field. Could drop, and it does drop right in front of the left fielder, Nate Paulson, for a base knock to lead off the third inning.
Number 16,
Eston Snyder now with Cruz Newman over there first. He had a line drive over towards Nate Paulson, drops right in front of his feet. Now 0-1 to Snyder. Didn't get to say much about Snyder in his at-bat, but he's batting .288 now with a .430 on-base percentage with 21 hits. He just fouls that off. It's down in the count 0-2 early here against Hank Downham. Snyder does have a home run, 9 RBIs, 6 doubles, and 14 singles. Has 15 walks and 13 strikeouts on the season. Throw over to first, Cruz Newman doesn't slide, but jumps back to first in time. Snyder, I did mention, had a 12-game hitting streak going. He looks at ball one high. He's had 5 multi-hit games, and then he's had 1 3-hit game. Fouls that back into the netting. So, excuse me, he had 6 multi-hit games. One of them a 3-hit game, the rest 2-hit games. Throw back to first. Cruz Newman gets back in time once again. 1-2 count to Snyder. Heart of the order coming up. Snyder, Hughes, and then Preston Shelton. And he looks at that just high. Wow. Definitely a good take from Snyder. Could have went either way. Now a 2-2 count. There we go. He hits it into center field. Drifting Paget going to get it, and he's under it for out number 1.
The EH number.
Colin Hughes at the plate. He has Cruz Newman over there at first. Looks at a ball in the dirt. First pitch of the at-bat. Colin Hughes had a hit and an RBI in his first at-bat. Looking to get on again. 1-0 to him. And he throws back at Cruz Newman. Cruz Newman continuing to not slide, just getting back, standing up. Gabe Kirk thought he might have had him out there. It's getting closer and closer each time. Newman doesn't have too big of a lead. If he did, I imagine he'd slide back in. Pitch home, and that is low. Ball 2. Through 2 1/3 innings, Hank Downham has 59 pitches, 3 hits, 2 earned run, and 4 walks. Those walks getting that pitch count up for him. 2-0 to Hughes, and make it 3-0. So right on cue, talking about the walks in a 3-0 count. Not necessarily a walk just yet. Could work back in his favor. But with the 4 walks down in the count 3-0, I imagine Colin Hughes takes a pitch or two with Cruz Newman at first, trying to get as many players on the bags as possible. Preston Shelton on deck, and he looks at that just on the outside corner, strike 1. Preston Shelton and then Ethan Barnes, so 2 very hot hitters. Shelton just a consistent hitter. Ethan Barnes started out slow. Very hot now. 3-1 to Hughes. Cruz Newman at first. Pitch home. Grounds that foul on the first base side. Well, now he worked it back full, so the walk is still there, still very possible, but now a tough count for Colin Hughes. Trying to stay alive here. Payoff pitch from Downham, and he goes down hacking. Strike 3. Preston Shelton now at the plate. Shelton didn't get on his first at bat. Trying to get on now with Cruz Newman at first. He's going to go. Big swing and a miss. Newman's going to slide in. Bad hop, and he can't get to it. Luke Myers can't get to it. Excuse me, that's Ben Bausis over there at second. Luke Myers was backing him up. Looked like he had him, but the hop, Ben Bausis couldn't get to it. Now 0-1 to Shelton. Cruz Newman puts himself in scoring position with the stolen base. And he grounds it out. Over to Luke Myers, and he drops it. Cruz Newman's going to round. He's going to round. That's going to bring a run home, and Cruz Newman gets a steal and a run.
The center fielder, number 10, Ethan Barnes.
Luke Myers got a tough hop off a play from Preston Shelton. And that brought home the third run of the ball game. Shelton looks to steal. He's going to go back, and he gets back in time. He started to steal, realized Downham had not thrown the pitch yet, and didn't want to get caught in a jam or a pickle there. Ethan Barnes at the plate. He's been scorching hot in a 1-0 count here. Ethan Barnes hitting .400 now. Had a hit in the past 6 games. 4 out of 6 of them multi-hits. And he slaps that. And that's going to be a base knock over to left field past Luke Myers. And now the tying run at the plate, Phillips Daniels. Up to the plate, Phillips Daniels. He looks at a ball outside, 1-0. As Ethan Barnes makes that a 7-game hit streak for him now. Trying to make it another multi-hit game as his next at bat, he could do that. Preston Shelton at second. Phillips Daniels looks at it on the outside corner, 1-1. Now a 6-3 ball game here in Tarboro. Seemed like it was out of hands in the first 5-0, but now it calmed down a little bit. 3-run ball game. Phillips Daniels looks on that in the inner half, 1-2. Has Preston Shelton in scoring position, a chance to make it even a 2-run ball game or tie it up with a bomb. And that is not in there. The throw is right into the bucket. Perfect throw from Tyler Overitis. And Preston Shelton slid in, but wow, great tag, great throw. Ty Garza had his glove out, already tagging him, and the throw from Tyler Overitis hit him right in the glove. Phillips Daniels going to have another at-bat next time in the 4th inning. So we'll see you here in the top of the 4th. Ryan Nielsen taking on the mound again, most likely his last inning. River Bandits do add a run. That's the end of the 3rd inning. 6-3 ball game. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. Ben Baus is leading off for the Steamers here in the top of the 4th inning. He's looking for his first hit of the season. Does have 6 walks. He's 11 at bats, so really not bad. Been a pitcher for most of the season. An amazing pitching, 4-0, 36 innings pitched with a 2 ERA and 25 strikeouts. He's been great. Only 6 walks. Nielsen on the mound again, 2-0 to Bausis, as that's what he's doing. Balsis looking to walk. Nielsen needs to pound that strike zone against him, make him earn his first hit. 2-0 pitch to Balsis, and that fouled off, out of play, 2-1. Nielsen with 79 pitches already, 2-1, and that's upstairs. Three and one to Balsis, trying to work it full, and he throws it high. Ben Balsis gets the leadoff walk as Steamers have had a leadoff man on all 4 innings, have Camden Martindale in the pen warming. We'll see if Nielsen can finish out through the 4th. That's his 6th walk of the game. Not usual for Nielsen, as that's low for ball 1. It's the bottom of the order here with Drift and Padgett up. Ben Balsis over there at first. He worked the leadoff walk, and that's in there, strike 1. Nice fastball from him. It seems like Nielsen's fastball has been the best thing working for him today, finding the strike zone. The breaking ball is just not finding it like it usually does. Looks at the sign from Daniels, the 1-1. Bunted up, and it's going to hit the top of the stadium and roll down. Looked like it might have been a pop-up bunt. Chance to get an out, but it goes foul above the stadium. Now 1-2, strikeout opportunity here. Lights are coming on. I'm sure it's not too bright on the stream. And that is upstairs, 2-2. So that 84 pitches, needs an out here. Can't put them both on, or Camden Martindale most likely coming in the game. Pitch home, just spoiled. Does shake the camera a good amount. Nielsen, the class of 2026. 2-2 pitch, swung on, ground out, over to Johnny Wall. He's going to take it himself. No, he throws it to Brandon Phillips, throw to first, and he's safe. But he do get the force out at second. Looked like good chance of the double play. I thought Johnny Wall was going to take it himself. He shoves it over to Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips makes a quick turn, just not in time for the double play. Would have been big. They do get the fielder's choice. Johnny Wall and Brandon Phillips with that out. As they're having a meeting on the mound with Ryan Nielsen. See if he continues out, tries to finish the inning, or if that's the end of his night. So long talk, and he gives the ball up. Looks like that's going to be the end of Ryan Nielsen's night. Brings out Camden Martindale. So we'll see you here on YouTube Live. Once Camden Martindale gets his warm-up pitches in, and there's a man over there at first. Luke Myers now at the plate, their leadoff hitter for the game. He has Ben Valsis over there at first. Actually, excuse me, he got called out with a force out. Got Drifton Paget over there at first. Camden Martindale now on the mound for the River Bandits. One and 0 count to Luke Myers. Luke Myers had the error that brought home a run for the River Bandits with the Preston Shelton softly chopper over to shortstop. 1-1 for Camden Martindale. 6-3 ball game. Martindale trying to keep it that way. Put the bats back on, and that doesn't hit the inside corner. That's inside 2-1. Martindale on the season with 23 1/3 innings pitched before the game, the most on the team. Now Ryan Nielsen has the most on the team, but looks like Martindale's going to re-earn that very shortly. 2-2 now to the leadoff hitter, Luke Myers. Martindale's faced 108 batters. That's also the most on the team, and that is hit hard into left field. Armani Newton might have overran it, but he makes the catch. He drops back before he does overrun it, and that would have went to the wall. That would have been tough with Drifton Paget, a speedy center fielder, over there at first base. But a nice job relocating himself and getting back in the spot to make the out number 2. Brings up Giomar Santana, who I mentioned leads in batting average and on-base percentage. He looks at strike on in the outer half, which good for Martindale as he's been hitting that outer half in the first batter and now against Giomar Santana. And that's where the umpire's been given the most calls. Not getting a lot of calls inner side for righties. And that's just fouled off the end of his bat. 0-2 now to Giomar Santana with 2 outs. Drifton Paget over there at first. Again, the Martindale coming in for relief of Ryan Nielsen. Oh, 2 to Santana. Nielsen's final. I'll let you know that later. Here's the 0-2, and that's inside. 1-2. Nielsen's final stat line: 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So the leadoff man kept getting on for the Steamers with walks, and that's just really the story of the night for him, and that's fouled out of play. Still 1-2. Nielsen before the game, still after the game, a top pitcher for the River Bandits. Just a tough outing here against a great hitting team in the Steamers. 1-2, that's outside, yanked. Phillips Daniels can't get to it, and that's going to bring Drifton Paget in scoring position at second base. Now 2-2 to Giomar Santana. Not a man you want to have runners in scoring position with up at the plate. The 2-2 pitch. Grounded out to Preston Shelton. He's going to keep the man at second. The throw over to first is low, scooped up, and it's past Keith Gardner. Low throw from Preston Shelton, and that's going to bring a run home. Unfortunate for the River Bandits, looking to get out of that inning, and it's going to be another run earned on Nielsen.
The third baseman, number 7, the beer batter, Ty Garza.
Now 7-3. Would have kept it a 3-run game, and River Bandits bats would have been back up at the plate. River Bandits now with 2 errors. That's popped up over to right field. Well, actually first base, Keith Gardner under it for out number 3, but the Steamers do put up another run off the low throw from Preston Shelton. That'll be the ends of the top half of the 4th. River Bandits still in a 4-run deficit. As it continues, they add one, and the Steamers go back and add one themselves. But 7-3, you're watching the River Bandits on YouTube Live. excuse me, I wasn't back yet, as that is a base knock to lead off the inning for Phillips Daniels in one pitch. So Phillips Daniels gets another chance at the plate after Preston Shelton was thrown at third last time in the bottom half of the third. 0-1 to Keith Gardner. Phillips Daniels, it's a base knock into left field in one pitch against Downham. A lot going on in the press box. I wasn't ready as the music was still playing. That hits the just misses the outside half, as it seemed like the home plate umpire has been calling it there a lot this game. Hank Downham doesn't get the call there. Phillips Daniels at first. Keith Gardner trying to start something with him over there. Phillips Daniels slides back into first safely. Hank Downham on the game, 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Getting some soft contact. Keith Gardner holds up the appeal, and he did not hold up. It really did look like he held up, but he did not, according to the first base umpire. 1-2 now to Gardner. Gardner did have a hit, a walk, and a run so far, and he goes down hacking. Strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
Congratulations, sir, on your hat.
Brendan Phillips has a sac fly RBI in this game. He got the second run of the game in with a hit to right field to Davis Halstead. Phillips Daniels still at first, and Phillips pops that out of play. River Bandits have put up 1 in each inning. The Steamers have put up 5 in the first, 1 in the second, none in the third, and 1 in the fourth. So they keep answering back. The River Bandits 1 run each inning. They're trying to get more than 1 this time. Phillips Daniels slides back into first, and Gabe Kirk can't scoop it up. Daniels is going to get to second safely. Now a runner in scoring position with Brandon Phillips in an 0-1 count. Good job recognizing that it was not scooped up from Gabe Kirk. Phillips Daniels gets over to second. Now 2 errors on both sides. River Bandits do have more hits than the Steamers at the first inning. A lot of damage done against the River Bandits. Now a 1-1 count as Phillips looks at that ball above the letters. Phillips trying to get a second RBI in the game here with Daniels in scoring position. And he fouls that off, 1-2. Ooh, that moved the camera a good amount now, more towards the third base side. I'll have to try to fix that next inning. Phelps steps off the plate for just a moment. Back in the batter's box in a 1-2 count with 1 out. Pitch home, breaking ball. He swings late at that one. A weird looking strikeout.
The left fielder, number
River Bandits been scoring 1 each inning, trying to keep that streak going. Armani Newton, the man to do it. And that's outside ball 1. Newton, the leadoff hitter tonight for the River Bandits. He leads the team in RBIs with 17. A 1-0 pitch. He hits that into center field. Could be right at Padgett, and it is. Lined out right to Drifton Padgett. Hard hit ball, but nothing to show for it, as that's the end of the fourth inning. River Bandits do not score any this time. They strand Phillips Daniels at second base. And now a 7-3 ball game going into the fifth inning. Still a very winnable game for the River Bandits. Camden Martindale coming out on the mound once again. I'm going to go try to fix that camera angle for you, so we'll be right back here on YouTube Live. Back here in the top of the fifth inning, as I just went and fixed the camera angle, as a foul ball into the netting moved it towards the third base side. Camden Martindale back out on the mound in relief of Ryan Nielsen. The cleanup hitter Davis Halstead, right fielder at the plate. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch home, and that is in there, strike one. River Bandits looking for the first time getting the leadoff man out in this game. That's outside. 1-1 to Halstead. Halstead does have a hit this game. Excuse me, 2-1, now 3-1. The 3-1 pitch, that's outside, a leadoff walk for the Steamers. They continue to get on to leadoff innings, and it just creates havoc for these Steamers, or for these River Bandit defenders and River Bandit pitchers.
Hey guys, thanks for what y'all do, okay?
Thank you.
Couldn't do it without you.
I had to give you a shout out.
Hey, dude. I'm a fan. Fan club down there.
Tyler Overritis now at the plate.
Thank y'all. Can I get you anything? I'll be good.
He just fouls that off himself. 0-1. Halstead has a hit, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run. He's over there at first. And he looks to bunt. Throw over to first. Keith Gardner tags him, and he's out. Great throw from Phillips Daniels. And a great tag from Keith Gardner, keeping his hand from getting in there at first. And they didn't get the leadoff man out by throwing pitches, but they get him out trying to steal. The 0-2 pitch, that bounces, and good thing the man at first is out, as he would have got over to second very easily. Now 1 out, 1-2 count here. Big swing and a miss for out number 2, a strikeout for Camden Martindale, and he's dealing here to start the game. Two quick outs. Leadoff walk, a man caught, stealing in Davis Halstetter. He got picked off, and then Tyler Overitis strikes out swinging. 1-0 now to Chris Morris, their designated hitter. River Bandits looking to go 1-2-3 for the first time this game. Grounded over to Shelton, but it's going to be foul. .99 watching here. Let's get it up to 100 here on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. Hoping you all are enjoying the stream here against a rival Steamer team. And that hits the outside corner. Like I mentioned, getting that call is the pitchers tonight on the outside. That's hit hard over Preston Shelton's head. It's going to go to Armani Newton in left field. It's going to be a single, hard hit single for Chris Morris to bring up Nate Paulson, their left fielder. Camden Martindale out of Centralia with a 4.75 ERA, a 6.2 win-loss ratio with 11 appearances. Pitch home is flied out into right field. Snyder's going to go running for that one, and he's under it for out number 3. Martindale strands a man at first, and that'll be the end of the 5th inning. They don't let the Steamers score one this inning. River Bandits didn't score one in the 4th, so they're going to try to score in the bottom half of the 5th, inch away at that 7-3 lead of the Steamers. You're watching the River Bandits on YouTube Live. Johnny Wall leading off the bottom half of the 5th for the River Bandits as Chris Morris is entering the game in relief of Downham. That bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Chris Morris was the designated hitter tonight for the Steamers, now going into pitch as he pitches 2 consecutive balls to start his outing. facing a great hitter in Johnny Wall, who's batting .408. Doesn't have anything this game, but he has a .483 on base percentage with 20 hits on the season. And he hits that hard into center field. Drifton Paget looking at that one, and that one is caught from him over at center field right before the wall.
The designated hitter, number 5.
Seven to 3 ball game here as Cruz Newman is coming up to the plate. He fouls that one off, swinging for the fences, 0-1. Chris Morris for the Steamers has 8 games played, 14 innings pitched, 3-1 win-loss ratio with a 6.43 ERA. 0-1 pitch to Newman is low. Chris Morris has 8 walks, 16 hits, and 17 strikeouts so far for the Steamers. And that is just outside. Good eye from Cruz Newman as he's trying to get on. River Bandits trying to have one of those big innings. But Cruz Newman swings to the fences and can't get to it as it was in the same spot in the outside corner. Looked like a changeup just outside of the plate. Couldn't get his barrel to it. Now 2-2 with 1 out. Pitch home, and he just gets a piece of it. Bounces up, and we'll do it again. Chris Morris, more of a hitter. Got more at-bats in college than he did innings pitched. But that's outside as Newman works it full with Snyder on deck. Chris Morris in college only with 9 2/3 innings pitched with a 6.51 ERA. Newman, the full count pitch, grounded out towards Gabe Kirk at first, and an easy play as he goes and tags first base for out number 2. Snyder now up at the plate as he just fouls that back. River Bandits did get the starter, Hank Downham, out of the game. Now trying to get at these Edenton Steamer relief pitchers. This inning, not so far. 1-1 to Snyder. Cruz Newman hit it hard, but a ground ball right at Gabe Kirk at first, and Johnny Wall hit it hard over to the right center field wall. But Drifton Paget got to it as Essen Snyder fouls that out of play down the right field line. 1-2 now to Snyder. He's our cleanup hitter. Put him in cleanup ever since the All-Star break, and it's been working out as he looks at that one high, backs away from it. Breaking ball almost drops back in, but it is high, 2-2. 5 hits on both sides. 2-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss, but it gets away from the catcher. Overitis can't get to it, and Snyder's going to speed into first safely. He is fast. Colin Hughes now at the plate. With a chance with Snyder at first. He's speedy. If he can get it to the wall, he can bring a run home. He hits that high. Could be a high pop-up in foul territory. Gabe Kirk is looking to get under it, and he does. Does not, excuse me. We didn't have an angle at it as the dugout was in my way. I actually remember Gabe Kirk doing that exact same thing just last time the Steamers were here. And he was not happy that he dropped it. But the Steamers did end up winning that game 3-1 either way. This could be big. Colin Hughes. I actually think it was Colin Hughes that did that pop up down the first base side, too. Swing and a miss, or foul tipped. 0-2. Hughes hits a .259 batting average, .431 on base percentage. Looking to get on base again. 0-2 to him. He flies that down the third base line and out of play. Colin Hughes is our extra hitter tonight, not the designated hitter. Designated hitter is Cruz Newman. 0-2 to our extra hitter, Colin Hughes, and that's up. Chance to get back in this game with a 2-out rally. That's where most of the runs have come from for the River Bandits. Has the speedy Snyder at first in the 1-2 count. Fouls it off again. Pesky at bat from Hughes. On deck, Preston Shelton. One-two count to Hughes. Snyder's looking to go. He does not. He hits it right at the second baseman. Bausis makes a diving play. It's a hard exchange. The stretch. And he stays on the bag for out number 3. A great stretch from Gabe Kirk. He does the splits. Bausis had a hard time with the exchange, and I thought he might get there in time, but he does not. That'll be out number 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the River Bandits are still down 4. We'll head to the 6th inning in a 7-3 ball game as you're watching the River Bandits on YouTube Live. Gabe Kirk is leading off for the Steamers here in the 6th inning. Already 9 o'clock here, only in the 6th inning. But that's hit hard into right field. Snyder backing up, trying to get to it. He makes a diving grab. What a play! Oh my goodness, he turned his body and made the play in air. Gabe Kirk gets a hit stolen away from him with an amazing grab from Eston Snyder.
The second baseman, number 1, Ben Bausis.
Put that on his highlight reel. As Gabe Kirk has just made a great stretching split play at first base to hang on to the bag. As that hit hard into the right center gap, and Ethan Barnes is going to get to it fast enough to keep it to a single for Ben Bausis. That's his first hit of the season, I believe, if that is still Ben Bausis. So that's big for him. He's at first. He had a hard time with the exchange for out number 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Martindale still on the mound here in an 0-1 count against the leadoff hitter, Luke Myers. Excuse me, Drifton Padgett, which is not the leadoff hitter. He's the bottom of the order. On deck is Luke Myers. Throw over to first is not in time as Bausis slides in safely. Pitch home, and he jams him for strike 2. Throw back to first. The tag is not in time, as Jack Nielsen is taking over for Keith Gardner over there at first. Just noticed that. Martindale's 0-2 pitch to Paget is outside. Faust is testing his luck over there at first, taking a pretty big lead. Phillips Daniels didn't want to throw it there. Didn't have the angle. Martindale's 1-2 pitch to Paget is just fouled. Dark skies here in Tarboro at 9 p.m. here in the top of the 6th inning, as that sails high. Now a 2-2 count with 1 out. Balsas over there at first, looking to get a big strikeout here or a ground ball. Obviously a fly out would do too, but a ground ball has a chance of the double play. Throw over to first. Balsas gets back in time. Martindale really worrying about Balsas back there at first. Pitch home, grounded out, but foul. Long at bat here from Drifton Paget. Paget in college, hitting .273 with a 4 rate on base percentage, 5 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 31 RBIs. He had 17 stolen bases, so he is very speedy. That's fouled off and out of play. Another foul ball for him. On the other hand, though, Drifton Paget for the Steamers batting .197, does have that .384 on base percentage, has 10 stolen bases, 9 RBIs, a home run, and 2 doubles. 15 total hits, so he has 13 singles. Excuse me, 12 singles. That's hit high into right center. Snyder going to run that down, and he gets under it for out number 2. Snyder with both of the outs, flyouts to him in right field. One of them an amazing twisting in the air grab for the first out. Stole a hit from Gabe Kirk. Brings up Luke Myers, their shortstop. Trying to bring Balsas home. Riverbend is trying to keep this a 7-3 ball game. It's slowed down here after the River Bandits were scoring a good amount. The first 3 innings, they scored 1 each of those 3 and been scoreless since. Steamers put up 5 in the first and then 1 in a couple the next inning, and Balsas slides back in safely. Jack Nielsen put a tag on him, but he was back in there on time. Throw back to him again. The tag on him is not in time. He's really worried about Balsas at first. Pitch home, and that's upstairs, 2-0. Martindale has 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and no earned runs, trying to keep Balsas from scoring. And that's in there for strike 1 in the outside corner. Luke Myers has a walk and 2 runs this game. And that hits the dirt, 3-1. Three and one. Pitch home, and that is upstairs for ball 4. A walk for the leadoff man, Luke Myers, to bring up Giomar Santana, their extra hitter, with men on first and second. And they're going to have a meeting with Camden Martindale. Coach Crosby's coming out as it might be the end of his at night. He has had the most innings pitched on the team now and might be trying to keep keep his arm alive as the playoffs are coming very shortly here, just 2 weeks away. 6 home games, including this one, left for the River Bandits. Big divisional game here. Still a chance for the River Bandits to win this game. 4 innings remaining for their bats. River Bandits trying to make it only 3 remaining for the Steamers bats. 1 out away from doing that, but men are on first and second. Luke Myers at first and Ben Bausis over there at second. Martindale talking with Coach Crosby, and it looks like he's going to stay out there, try to finish this inning. Most likely his last inning if he gets out of it after that meeting. Phillips Daniels walking back behind the plate as GMR Santana, their extra hitter, is coming up to bat. Pitch home is in there, strike 1 against Santana. Bausis was actually supposed to start tonight on the mound before Hank Downham got the start. Saving Bausis' arm as he's 36 innings pitch. That's hit, jammed over to Johnny Wall, and he catches the soft liner at shortstop for out number 3. River Bandits strand 2. 7-3 ball game. River Bandits trying to get back into this 7-3 ball game as the crowd is starting to get into it. We'll see you here on YouTube Live in just a moment. Preston Shelton leading off the 6th inning. Chris Morris on the mound again. He hits that into right field. Right fielder Davis Halstead makes the running grab. Hit a lot of ground to cover. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Steamers as Preston Shelton flies that out to Halstead.
The center fielder, number
And the hottest hitting batter on the River Bandits up at the plate. Already has a hit this game, looking to make it another multi-hit game for himself. Fouls that off. He's at a Longwood University. With a .228 batting average there. He fouls that into the netting for strike 2. Not a good sign. 2 quick strikes and 1 quick out already. The 0-2 from Morris over to Ethan Barnes is low for ball 1. Barnes trying to work it back in his favor. He's, like I said, one of the hottest hitters on the River Bandits, batting in the 7th spot in the lineup. The 1-2 hits that into center field, and that's going to be another multi-hit game for Ethan Barnes. He keeps on raking. Phillips Daniels now at the plate. Daniels has a hit, a walk, and a run this game. Looking for another hit or another walk, whatever can get him on. Trying to start that rally. The teams are split with hits, 6-6 and errors, 2-2, but the score is not split. It's at 7-3 Steamers, 1-0 to Phillips Daniels. Jack Nielsen on deck in replacement of Keith Gardner. Now 1-1 to Daniels. Daniels, our catcher tonight. He's had a couple nice throws. 1-1 is inside, 2-1.
Yeah, 29's Ryan Nielsen, not Jack.
2-1 to Phillips. Hit hard into right field. Going to be in foul territory, and Halstead can't get to it. Made a running attempt. A lot of ground that he covered, but not in time. 2-2 now for Phillips Daniels. It's tough. I can't really call Phillips Daniels by his first name, Phillips, because then you might think it's Brandon Phillips, who is 2 batters after him. So we have a Philip Daniels and a Brandon Phillips. A couple Phillips on the team. Both playing tonight, which is not always the case. We have a lot of catchers on the team. The 2-2, and he holds up, and that's outside. Great take from Daniels. Works it full. This would be a big walk with Jack Nielsen on deck. He hasn't had a plate appearance this game. And that's inside. Phillips Daniels works the full count walk. Jack Nielsen is pinch hitting here for Keith Gardner, as Nielsen is hitting .259 on the season with a .443 on base percentage, 15 hits, 14 singles, and a double. Pitch home, and that is in there on the outside corner for strike one. Jack Nielsen's last hit was on July 3rd. He's played 4 games after that and has not gotten a hit. Looking to get back in the hit column, especially with runners in scoring position. That hits the dirt, and now both are going to be in scoring position as Daniels runs into second, and at third is Ethan Barnes. A big spot now with 2 men in scoring position for Jack Nielsen. He could bring 2 home, make this a 2-run ball game. Still only the bottom of the 6th inning. One more hit for the River Bandits would mean they are now out hitting the Steamers, but they would still be down no matter what the hit is here. Pitch home, and that's upstairs, 2-1. Jack Nielsen trying to at least get on to first base and load the bases for Brandon Phillips. He already has an RBI this game off a sac fly, looking for more RBIs. Might have the chance to, depending on what happens here. Here's the 2-1, and he just fouls that off, 2-2. This would be big for Nielsen to gain his confidence back, as hasn't been an everyday guy anymore after Bernal and Keith Gardner have started to play first. The 2-2, and that's inside, 3-2. Massive pitch here for Chris Morris and Jack Nielsen at the plate. What does he do? Does he chase? Does he chase the ball out of the zone? Payoff pitch with men in scoring position. The pitch home, and he fouls it off. We'll do it again. Chris Morris on the mound trying to get the strikeout here from Pitt Community College as well. The payoff pitch to Nielsen, and he strikes out swinging. Big pitch as he pounded the strike zone, and Nielsen can't get to it in time with the fastball. Now Brandon Phillips with the righty-lefty matchup looks at a strike on the outside half. Still a big chance for the River Bandits to cut this lead to 2 with men on second and third. Brandon Phillips grounds it out towards Ben Bausis. Takes a weird bounce, but he throws over to first in time, and the River Bandits strand him on second and third when there was only 1 out. Nielsen strikes out. Brandon Phillips grounds out to Ben Bausis at second, and that'll be it in the 6th inning. River Bandits strand 2, and a 7-3 ball game is what it stands at. We'll see it here in the top of the 7th. River Bandits have 9 outs remaining to get back in this game, but the pitching has to do its job to stay in this game, and Camden Martindale's coming out once again. And then Martindale out on the mound once again in relief of Brian Nielsen as Ty Garza jams it right over to Johnny Wall for a soft liner for out number 1 and 1 pitch. Exactly what they were looking for.
Number 12, Davis Halstead.
Brings up Davis Halstead, their cleanup hitter, right fielder. Ground ball to Preston Shelton. He makes a diving grab, throw over to first. In time for out number 2. A great play from Preston Shelton. On target throw. There was an error there at third base from him earlier in this game that brought home a run. This time he makes a diving play. Throws it over to first in time. And there's 2 up, 2 down in just 3 pitches.
You're doing a great job, Jack.
Brings up Tyler Overitis. And that's in there for strike 1. Martindale trying to go very quickly here as we thought his night might be done last inning with the men on first and second, and he stayed in, and now he has 2 quick outs.
I think we should play the Harry Carey version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
1-1 to Overitis, their catcher. The righty-lefty matchup is hit back to Brandon Phillips, and he can't catch the line drive at second base, and that puts Overitis on first. There's a hard hit ball just under Brandon Phillips' glove as it hit the bottom of it. Brings up Chris Morris, who I guess can pitch and hit at the same time. He was pitching last inning. I thought once you went out on the mound you were done hitting. I guess I was wrong. We're now 1-0 to him. Steamers are letting the River Bandits stick around in this game. Still 7-3 is Martindale's pitch. It's the outside half for strike one. Lots of calls that game on that corner. One and one to him, and that is in there. Strike two. Martindale had in the count 1-2 here. Two outs. Man on first base, 1-2. To Chris Morris, their designated hitter and pitcher right now, and he just spoils that. Would have been a ball, but he swung at it and got a piece of it. In the first game in a while that the River Bandit bats have just not been popping like usual. Here's the 1-2, and that's high for ball two. So you're not going to be able to score over 13 runs every single game. And that's just part of baseball. You might have some games like that. It's just unfortunate having those games against the rival Steamers. That 2-2 pitch is in there. He freezes him for strike three. Chris Morris goes down looking with the backwards K. Camden Martindale goes through the order and puts him down. And that'll be the end of the top half of the seventh. River Bandits really trying to get back in this game. Still 7-3. They're staying in there, staying alive. But they're running out of time. Got to get something going. They've had plenty of men on the bags. Just haven't been able to bring them in. We'll see if they can do that in the bottom half of the seventh here on YouTube Live. Armani Newton is leading off here in the seventh inning. He's our leadoff hitter in general. Looks at a ball just outside. Lefties not getting that outer call as much. Righties getting that called against them. And two in the same exact spot now, 2-0. Ben Baus is now on the mound as he has been locked down and lights out for the Steamers. Armani Newton pops that up. Could be in no man's land in shallow left, but the left fielder, Nate Paulson, gets to it for out number one. Now up to bat is Johnny Wall against Ben Bausas. As he looks at that ball just outside. Most pitchers have been getting the call that time. Not getting the call, 1-0. And that's upstairs, 2-0. On deck is Cruz Newman. Ben Balsis was supposed to get the start. He's 4-0 with a 2.20 ERA, and that's in there for strike one. He has 36 innings pitched with 8 earned runs, 25 strikeouts. And Johnny Wall slaps that, but fouled on the first base side. 2-2. He's played against the River Bandits 3 times. 9 innings, 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. Johnny Wall gets a piece of it, stays alive. River Bandits just not been able to hit against this guy. It's been lights out. And Johnny Wall once again fouls it off. 2-2. Ben Balsis in his first 10 appearances, the Steamers are 8-2 when he takes the mound, whether a starter or reliever. The 2-2 to Wall, grounded out over to third baseman, and Garza can't make the play. It bounces up. Johnny Wall is going to stay there at first after he reaches on with an error. Cruz Newman seems to thrive in these situations, as don't know why, but even though we haven't been able to hit Ben Balsis, I'm predicting some sort of a big hit from him, as that's outside 1-0. Especially if he gets it in a count he likes, he can get a ball that he wants that he can hit, and he can hit it opposite field and he can pull it to right field. He's done both this season. Pitch home and he pops it up. Center fielder drifting Padgett under it for out number 2.
The right fielder, number
Brings up Eston Snyder as the River Bandits are running out of time here in a 7-3 ball game. Still a 7th inning, but facing some of the Steamers' best on the mound. 1-0 to Snyder with man on first base. Johnny Wall reached out an error from Ty Garza at third base. That's upstairs, 2-0. Colin Hughes on deck. Pitch home, and that's outside. 3-0 to Snyder with Hughes on deck. Hughes has hit a grand slam this season. He is definitely capable. Wouldn't be a grand slam at this point in the game, but he'd have 2 men on if Snyder can get on with a walk here or with a hit. The 3-0, and that's low for ball 4. Snyder works a 4-pitch walk to bring up Colin Hughes. Colin Hughes at the plate. He looks at a ball above the letters. As I didn't realize, so when Balsis went to pitch, Garza went over to second. So excuse me, that error was not on Garza. I don't know. No pitch. Colin Hughes, that's breaking ball, gets in there for strike 1. Thank you, Silas Kudre, for the nice comment about my commentating. So 1-1 to Hughes. Men on first and second. The pitch home, and that is in there. He looks at a strike down the middle of the plate. Balsis has been almost unhittable We've reached on an error and a walk. Still not a hit against him in this game. He was trying to change that 1-2 to him. The pitch home, and he goes down swinging. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt for out number 3 as the River Bandits strand 2. Once again, they keep getting them on the bases and can't get them home, as that is the end of the 7th inning. So we'll see you here in the 8th inning in just a moment. Nate Paulson leading off for the Steamers here as Camden Martindale is continuing out on the mound. I thought his outing was almost done, with Coach Crosby going to talk to him on the mound, and continuing out once again. 2 consecutive balls to start the 8th inning, though. Paulson, the 7th hitter in the batting order for the Steamers, the left fielder. Martindale working fast. That's fouled off out of play. Martindale this game in relief of Ryan Nielsen, and that hits the outside corner. That looked like it might have been a little outside, but he gets the favorable call. He's now pitched 3 2/3 with 3 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The 2-2 pitch, and that's grounded foul. Has 58 pitches, 37 of them strikes. He's faced 16 batters. He's been great out of relief here in general for the River Bandits, as can't tell what just happened there. I think he just fouled that one off. So still 2-2. We got the beach night here for the River Bandits. We have a few of the pitchers behind the camera watching Camden Martindale pitch with the radar gun. Here's the 2-2, and that is low, 3-2. Payoff pitch, grounded out, over to Brandon Phillips at second. Throw over to first to Jack Nielsen in time for out number 1. Off the full count, they get the leadoff man out, which has been hard to come by here in this game against the Steamers. Now at the plate, Gabe Kirk. He is a 2 RBI double in the first inning. It was 3-0, and there was 2 outs. He hit that 2 RBI double. That just kind of extended that lead and killed the energy of the River Bandits. They've been trying to come back this whole game, just not been able to. Martindale coming out of the pen, playing great. That's hit hard at Brandon Phillips, and he can't catch the liner. Another liner that just gets right past him. Snyder runs in to get it, and I guess you'd call it a base knock, maybe an error. It was a hard hit ball to Brandon Phillips. So now a man on first, and Gabe Kirk. Ben Bausis was pitching last inning, and now he's up at the plate. He got his first hit of the season here against Martindale, and it's one of Martindale's 3 hits against him. Martindale's pitched a full 4 innings now. Trying to get to 4 2/3. Big swing and a miss from Bausis. Leaves his feet. Helmet flies off a little bit. 0-2. Looking for a ground ball. Gabe Kirk, big framed guy. If it's sharply hit, I don't know if he's going to get to second in time, and that's grounded but foul. Bausis down on the count, 0-2. Pitch home, and that is just misses. Looked like it was in there. Makes it 1-2. It seems like that outside corner's been getting called all game long. And that one didn't even look like it was close to being outside. But the 1-2, and that one did look outside, makes it 2-2. Phillips Daniels tried to frame it. Here's the pitch, and that's slap foul. Still a hot, humid night in Tarboro. Top the 8th inning, 1 out, 2-2 count to Bausis with Gabe Kirk at first. Steamers out hitting the Riverband at 7-6. He got rung up. Strike 3 on Ben Bausis for the second out of the inning. River Bandits have made some comebacks here in the season. A few coming back and then just falling just short. Most recent against the Clovers was down 6-1, came back and lost 7-8 in the 9th. Had 2 on and no outs and hit into a double play, a liner to the second baseman. Hoping River Bandits can make it interesting here at the end. So bats just aren't as hot as they have been at the All-Star break. Now 0-2. Facing Drifton Paget. The 0-2 pitch to Paget, grounded out over to Johnny Wall. He's going to go for the force play at second, and Brandon Phillips tags second to end the inning. That'll be the end of the 8th inning as they strand Gabe Kirk at first and keep it 7-3. Pitching has been doing its job, keeping this game intact for the batters. They just need to get something going, stop leaving the runners on the bases. Can they do it? We will see here. They have 6 outs remaining to do it. You're watching the River Bandits on YouTube Live. Bandits in the 8th inning with Preston Shelton leading off. 1-0 to him with Ben Bausis still on the mound. He's been almost unhittable. 1-0 pitch. Preston Shelton swings and misses at that one. 1-1. Righty-righty matchup with Shelton at plate, and he grounds it out towards the third baseman. Gonna be a tough play to throw over to first. Is in time for out number 1. Brings up Ethan Barnes, who has 2 hits on the game. And he goes swinging for that one. Makes it strike 1. And now 0-2 quickly to Ethan Barnes. Ben Balsas' 0-2 pitch is outside, makes it 1-2. Ethan Barnes has 2 hits on the game, another multi-hit game, 7-game hitting streak. And that is just outside. Good take from Barnes with Phillips Daniels on deck. Really trying to get something going, maybe at least get some kind of rally, a couple runs in, make it easier in the 9th inning. As 4 runs is hard to come by in 1 inning. And he's rung up looking for strike 3. Ethan Barnes gets struck out for the 2nd out of the inning. Hitting coach Brandon Matthews not happy with the strikeout call to Ethan Barnes. He's having a talk with the home plate umpire. Now 2 outs. Phillips Daniels now at the plate. 4 outs remaining for the River Bandits in this game. Looks at strike 1 on the inner half. And that bounces for ball 1. Phillips Daniels on the game, has a hit, 2 walks, and a run. On deck, Jack Nielsen. Phillips Daniels slaps that foul. 1-2. Not getting any cooler as the night goes on. Very humid here in the press box and in Tarboro. Still a good crowd, but not as much to cheer for as usual. Phillips Daniels grounds it out to the shortstop. Luke Myers has a tough play, and he's not going to grab it. No throw as Phillips Daniels beats it out. Could turn into something big if the River Bandits get something going, because that would have been out number 3. Brings up Jack Nielsen, who struck out with 1 out and runners on second and third. And that was a big spot in that game. And after that, Brandon Phillips grounded out to second. And River Bandits had nothing to show for it that inning. He looks at strike 1. Yeah, I'm confused on. Usually, Brandon Matthews gets tossed if he goes up and does that. The home plate umpire was taking a listen from him. Jack Nielsen, it's the inside corner, but it's too far inside, backs away from it for ball 1. So 1-1 to Nielsen, and that breaking ball is just high.
Get him fired up, Willis.
I have to stay as neutral as possible about the strike zone. even though sometimes I don't. Don't want to get yelled at. Can't go in on him too hard, but you guys talk about it all you'd like in the chat. 2-1 to Nielsen, and that is outside, 3-1. Nielsen trying to get on anyway, anyhow. 3-1 to him. As the outside corner has been inconsistent. Seems like sometimes that same spot will be called a strike. Here's the 3-1. He looks at it low. Ball 4. Jack Nielsen works the walk with Brandon Phillips coming up at the plate. Max Bernal now coming in to pinch hit. I like the pinch hit here. Try to get a bat that hasn't been up to play too much. Music is still playing. I thought it'd be over by now. Max Bernal now at the plate, a lefty hitter. He grounds that out down the first base line, and that's going to go foul. Could have been big if it stayed fair. Don't know if Gabe Kirk would have got to it. If he did, would have been a tough play. Went down the line. There's a lot of space down that right field foul territory, and would have brought home at least one, maybe two. But Max Bernal now down in the count, 0-1. He pops that out of play. Could be a play for the third baseman, and there's not.
Oh, the guy fell.
Now 0-2 to Bernal. Bernal with 6 games played, 18 plate appearances, a .333 batting average, .444 on base percentage, has 5 hits, 4 singles, and a double. Looking for something here, but he's down on the count, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Bernal. Big swing and a miss, and he tags him for out number 3. River Bandits strand him on the bases again. Just lots of runners left on base. That'll be the story of this game if they don't come back to win it. Luke Myers, leadoff hitter, now leading off in the 9th inning for the Steamers, trying to add on to that 7-3 lead with Camden Martindale at the plate. On the mound, excuse me. It's been a long night. Frustrating for the River Bandits, leaving so many men on base. Martindale's first 2 pitches of the inning are outside, 2-0. They're looking to finish this game, although a 3-0 count to Myers Do have pitcher warming in the pen. Can't tell exactly who it is, but we'll see if we need him. Martindale's pitch, and that is outside. 4-pitch walk to lead off the 9th inning.
DH number 5, GMR Santana.
Brings up Giomar Santana. Santana on the game has 2 walks and a run. Luke Myers now has 3 walks and 2 runs. Martindale's pitch is high. Above the letters, ball 1. Martindale has 4 2/3 with 3 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts at 80 pitches now. Kind of like he got himself a start. We're really using 2 of our best pitchers in Ryan Nielsen and Camden Martindale. And we're still on pace to lose right here. Not the best sign for the River Bandits. And that gets in there for strike 1. Did beat him 14-1 last night. Was a big win. Would have liked to get both. And that hits him in the back. Martindale lost control. He's at 83 pitches now. Really up in his pitch count, especially for a relief outing. And now the Steamers are threatening with runners on first and second and no outs. Adam Quincy about to come in, it looks like, as Camden Martindale's night is done. Adam Quincy, one of our best bullpen guys, and we're really using some great pitchers tonight, banking on our River Bandit bats to come back and get us back in this game. We're going to need Adam Quincy to get out of this inning without any runs scored. 4 is already enough to come back from. And Armani Newton, Johnny Wall, and Cruz Newman, the first 3 in our batting order, are going to be up in the 9th. So they're going to need it. Here comes Adam Quincy, a relief pitcher for the River Bandits, and we'll see you here in just a moment as we're having a pitching change. Camden Martindale coming out of the game with Adam Quincy coming in. Adam Quincy taking over the mound from Camden Martindale. as that's hit into center field. Ethan Barnes is going to get there for out number 1. Looks like it might be in shallow center, but Ethan Barnes gets to it in time.
The right fielder, number 12, Davis Halstead. Well, we got the beer batter to go 1 for 4 tonight.
Davis Halstead now at the plate with Adam Quincy on the mound. Lefty-righty matchup. And that is upstairs, ball 1. Martindale left Quincy, runners on first. Excuse me. Martindale left, runners on first and second for Adam Quincy. He just got a first quick out with a fly out to center field and gets in there for strike 1. A nice breaking ball from Quincy. Quincy with 17 2/3 innings pitched, 8 games played with 1 save. His 1-1 pitch, flied out into right center. Eston Snyder running that down, and he gets there. Runner's going to tag at second, and runner's going to stay at first. Now runners on the corners with a fly out to Eston Snyder. He's been busy tonight. Brings up Tyler Overitis. Adam Quincy 1 out away from keeping runners from scoring after he got left runners on first and second with no outs. Shallow fly out and then a deep fly out. Now looking for anything to just get the batter out. Pitch home, and that breaking ball just misses high. Lefty-lefty matchup. 1-0, grounded out, and that's going to be a base hit. Brings a runner home as J.B. Bell is not able to get to it in time. Just hit right between Jack Nielsen and J.B. Bell. Runner at first kept Jack Nielsen tied to the bag. Now an 8-3 ball game. Runners on first and second. That's going to go against Martindale's stat line. And so would the runner on second. Adam Quincy, his runs would be a runner on first and the batter. 2 outs, pitch home, and that's upstairs, ball 1. Quincy looking at the sign. He's had no starts this season, 1-0, and that is upstairs above the letters, 2-0. All out of the pen. He's worked amazing out of the pen with his highest pitch count at 80 when 3 2/3 innings pitched on June 15th against the Steamers. 2-0, big foul tip. River Bandits defeated the Steamers 8-3 on June 15th. And that is low. Going to get to the backstop and put 2 runners in scoring position now in a 3-1 count. So if the game stays like this, the Steamers will flip-flop that score in their favor, 8-3. This time all the way in July 20th now. Just coming up away, 2 weeks away from the playoffs. If they want to win the championship, most likely going to have to face the Steamers at some point. Got to be able to win a series against them. And there's a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Quincy 1 pitch away, getting out of this inning, 3-2. Quincy's last outing, July 14th against the Catawba Valley Stars. He went 2 2/3 with only 1 hit, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. No earned runs on him. He has a 2.54 ERA on the season. The payoff pitch is upstairs, loads the bases for the Steamers. Brings up Nate Paulson, their left fielder. Nowhere for Paulson to go. Quincy desperately trying to keep this game in store for the River Bandits. He can't hold up. He swings and misses for strike one. Definitely still improbable for the River Bandits to come back, but they've had big innings. They can't let it get more than 5. That is just upstairs. If it gets 10-3, then it gets very bleak for these River Bandit bats. I think Quincy can get out of it, though. Here's a 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. That's in there, strike 2. That was somewhat low and looked a bit inside. I know everyone in the chat is not too happy with the home plate umpire right now. And that is a ball in the dirt. 2-2. Phillips Daniel still behind the plate. He's been working all night in this hot, humid temperature. He can't let a ball get past him, or that's going to score a run. Pitch home, and he cannot hold up. He goes for strike 3. Adam Quincy strikes him out with the bases loaded and strands him loaded. To end the top of the 9th, River Bandits down 5. They need a big rally. They have the top of the lineup with Armani Newton. We'll see if they can do it. Top of the batting order for the River Bandits here in the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs remaining with Ben Bausis on the mound. Newton looks at a ball. A home plate umpire just very close from calling that a strike, as it did look like a strike, but he holds up 1-0. And that's low, 2-0. River Bandits going to have to get on the bases, get some kind of rally going. Down 5. 2-0. Newton slaps that into left field. Their left fielder, Nate Paulson, looks at that one against the wall. Newton's going to run into second. He stutters a little bit, but he's going to get into second safely, as that almost went out of the ballpark. It looked like it was a pop-up. That kept on carrying. River Bandits get exactly what they need to lead off an inning. They get a leadoff man on, especially putting him in scoring position without the double play in play. And, excuse me, my computer that I'm running Sideline HD on just said I need a restart, so I can't run Sideline HD right now. Stream is still up and running, but I won't be running that. Johnny Wall looks at that one for strike one. 1-1 to him. Hoping the computer can restart as fast as possible. I can get that back and running, hopefully. Sorry about that, but here's the pitch home. Johnny Wall looks at that in the dirt. Armani Newton's going to get into third as Overitis can't look at it. Looked like he was about to round, but Bausis gets to it in time. Very unfortunate with my computer doing this right now. I hope the stream still sounds all right. I wish I could give the players the props on what they're doing right now. Monty Newton takes over third. Johnny Wall in the 2-1 count. Grounds that out to Luke Myers at short. The throw over to first is in time, but it is a ground out. RBI makes it 8-4, but the River Bandits are going to need more than just sack RBIs. Still only one out. They do add that run. Cruz Newman now at the plate. Righty-lefty matchup with Bausis. He looks at that one inside, 1-0. Snyder on deck. Can't allow any more outs. Newman's got to get on. He just fouls that. That one looked low, but he swung at it. Got a piece of it. The 1-1 to Newman. Grounds that foul towards their dugout. Now 1-2. Trying to give something the crowd to cheer for. 1-2 to Newman. He hits that high towards right field. And that ball is out of here. Cruz Newman with a solo shot over the right field wall. I told you he had that pop to him. Makes it 8-5. This game's not over just yet. Esten Snyder now at the plate. He looks at strike one. Esten Snyder looks at strike two. Sideline HD running back up. 0-2 to Esten Snyder. He hits that. Could be in no man's land in right field. Right fielder Halstead gets under it for out number 2. Colin Hughes now at the plate. He fouls that one into the netting, 0-1. Him, Preston, Shelton are going to have to get on. And then Ethan Barnes after that would have to get something. That's hit high into center field. Drifton Paget looking at that one, getting under it, and that's the ball game. River Bandits fall 8-5 to the Edenton Steamers after Colin Hughes flies out to center field, and that'll be it. River Bandits tried to come back. They tied the hit column 8-8. They had one less error, but just more walks for the Steamers. Got them on base. River Bandits got their walks as well. They got on base. They left a lot of batters on base tonight, and that's just the way the game goes in baseball. Sometimes you can't bring them home, and that can be the difference in a game. Was a fun game, 8-5 Steamers. They rally after a 14-1 loss to the River Bandits last night. Plenty of season left. 2 weeks and a lot of play left. Edenton Steamers add on to their winning record. They go to 23-10. The River Bandits go to 17-12 as their 6-game win streak comes to an end. They're still very hot after the All-Star break. They'll be coming back tomorrow. We will be playing here in Tarboro. And I'm trying to get you the exact info on who we're playing. Tomorrow night, we will be playing the Wake Forest Fungo here in Tarboro. So come out, bring your family, get some good food. Watch this ball game here in Tarboro. Hopefully no weather. I haven't checked the weather. Hopefully nothing dictates that. And then on Saturday, we play the Outer Banks Scallywags, another PCL team. And that's also been a big rivalry this season. Last time these River Bandits played them, they won 17-0. Looking to do that again. Hoping to start another win streak. They have a lot of games in a row. They have Fungo and Scallywags at home on Friday and Saturday, and then away on Sunday and Monday versus the Clovers and the Steamers. And then again, the Steamers on Tuesday at home. So they have 6 games in a row. Actually, 8 games in a row, including the 2 away games from before. So that'll be it. A 8-5 ball game loss. Thank you all for watching. I'm Dominic Kasulki. You watch the Tarboro River Bandits on YouTube Live. We'll see you here tomorrow night.